Barbie's Volkswagen Beetle isn't here anymore. That's a Jake brake. Yeah, Barbie's Volkswagen Beetle that was here earlier apparently has gone away. All right, here we go. This is gonna be about 20 minutes of awesome. Well, it's 3 miles. So we'll say average of 6 miles an hour. This thing doesn't tell me how fast I'm going, but it's slightly uphill. Although, this hill right here is steeper and we're still moving at a pretty good clip. Anyways. Oh, there's Barbie's Beetle. What the heck? Some homeless guy must have grabbed that, or it fell off a truck or something. I figured we'd switch to the really wide view, just so you can get an idea of how frightening this is. Well, terrifying or frightening, I don't know. It's like skydiving. Is it frightening or terrifying, or both? Which one's better? Let me know in the comments. All right, we're about to go down into the abyss. Going to get picked up by a Lyft over here, but I think I'm going to continue on a couple miles to Walmart, and I got a notification that my power connectors have been delivered, so I want to get a switch so I can wire up the horn on this thing tonight, hopefully. Yeah, there's a Walmart not too far from here, so we'll just continue on. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the footage, but I think I might have just made a terrible mistake crossing that entire bridge. Look, I'm only on 2 out of 3. That means I could have been going faster this whole time. I don't know how I didn't notice that. Okay, so I definitely should have ordered this ride sooner. They're saying 60 to 90 minutes. Awesome. Well, they said it was gonna be 60 to 90 minutes before my ride gets here. So I went back inside in Walmart and bought some thermals. Anything helps. Definitely not warm out here. I'm gonna see if Jack in the Box has coffee. I need something warm. So I'm trying to figure out what that place is over there. It's completely covered in plastic, but it seems to have a drive-through, and people keep going through it. There's no signs anywhere. I figured it out. It's actually an Arby's. And the building is about as quality as their food. Covered in plastic and looks like a giant trash bag. Well, made it back. It's been a long day. I've done basically 18 miles in this thing today. And, well, I haven't tried getting into my other chair yet, but I don't feel worn out or that sore. I mean, it was a little bit bumpy. It could be better, obviously, with air-filled tires. But I think this thing's a keeper. It's a pretty awesome chair. When I was at the Goodwill bin store, I got this little flashlight for 87 cents. And I also weighed my chair while I was in there. I don't know if that part was in it. I don't know if there was a clip with that in it or not, but me and this chair, 781 pounds. No wonder that van won't pick this thing up. That's a lot of weight. But anyways, got this little flashlight, and shields your eyeballs, but I think it's good. It flicks on for 1 second, so I think that tells me the battery's just dead. It's rechargeable. But yeah, 87 cents. Okay, I'm gonna hop in this other chair, then probably gonna go over to the Amazon locker and grab the parts I need to make the horn work on this. Probably not gonna do it tonight, but I'm gonna have the stuff ready and we'll attack it first thing in the morning. All right, got a couple of packages from Amazon. I know what one of them is. It's the Anderson power pole connectors for the bounder so I can hook the horn back up. And the remote for my TV. See, it says remote. Now this is supposed to be a factory remote. And in the picture it showed Vizio on the bottom. But they put this sticker on the bottom that says remote. And I don't think Vizio remotes actually look like this. I don't know how you put batteries in here. Anyways, there's that. I really hope these are the right connectors. There's like 3 different kinds or sizes of the Anderson power pole connectors. So hopefully we got the right ones. Luckily it's sealed up in this bag. Ah, excellent. Yeah, see, it's these little guys. And we got some little rubber dampeners or holders or whatever for them. These are supposed to clip together somehow. Ah, there we go. They clip together like that. Then you have this little rubber cover to protect the wires, like that. And then you have to manually solder the pins on and put them in there. So, all right, cool. We're gonna be able to hook the horn up on the bounder over here. It's super exciting. All right, for now, time to watch some TV, eat some dinner, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow morning, or afternoon, or sometime, I don't know, whatever. Oakley dokley. It's time to, well, I've actually already done one side. If you remember, I was saying one of the tires got a little bit wobbly, and I thought maybe the spacer that was in there caused the tire to shift when I hit a bump, blah, 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 this and that. Well, it turns out, well, as it turns out, the tire itself actually has a little bit of a warble to it. It may have been stored in a stack of boxes or something like that and kind of gotten a little bit of warp to it. I took the one off of the other side and, well, here, I'll show you. If you look, you can see there's almost a little bit of a gap right here between the tire and the wheel. That is because between the 2 halves of the split rim, there is that white spacer right there. Now this black spacer is the one that you would put between the 2 halves if you're putting the extra wide tires on here. I kind of eyeballed it when I put this stuff together and it looked like it needed that spacer in there. I don't know if the spacer was supposed to space the wheel out, but it looks like it's in line with the fender. And just from my guesstimation, I figured I'd put it in there. As you can see, we got a tiny gap. If we go around here to the other side, you will see this looks a little bit more like a tire should. The wheel is sucked into the rubber a little bit, and that's because we removed this white spacer and cranked those bolts down the rest of the way. But as you can see, when I fire or spin this thing up, the tire has a wobble. If you look at the silver part of the wheel as it spins, you'll see it's not moving, it's actually the tire. See, the wheel itself is fine, it's just the tire that has the wobble. I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm planning on getting some different tires anyways that are a little bit larger in diameter, but still just as narrow. It might, as I run around until I buy the tires, it might kind of wear out. Probably not. I think that's just a product of the rubber and the foam and stuff that's been in there. And like I said, it might have been sitting in a pile of boxes or had some weight on it, or could be a defect, who knows. But anyways, we're gonna take this one off and remove that spacer from this side. So I'll show you how that's done. I'm using just the Ryobi quarter drive impact for removing the bolts. This is plenty sufficient. Now what's interesting about this configuration, you'll see here in a minute, these bolts not only hold the wheel to the chair, but they hold the two halves of the split wheel or split rim together. Check this out. Comes off, right? But then our wheel is also held together with the same bolts. So we're gonna get rid of that because we don't need it. We've got the steel half here. This is just sort of pressed into the tire because frictional forces and stuff. I could probably push it out of here, but whatever. Yeah, so basically we just pulled that spacer out and I'm just gonna put this thing back on here now. Well, I'm gonna sort of line it up with the bolts and then thread the whole thing back on here because it's two halves. And we wanna make sure, this is really awkward, there. We wanna make sure the two halves stay lined up as we put it back together, which I think, there we go. Washers and lock washers. And we're gonna get them all started a few turns with our fingers. Very important to get these started before you hit them with any sort of power tools. And I'm just gonna use this impact driver to get them most of the way tight, or at least most of the slack taken up out of them. And then we're gonna use a 1/2" breaker bar or ratchet to get them down the rest of the way. Note the X pattern. Okay, now we're gonna do the rest of it with a hand ratchet. As I go around and tighten these down, actually let me lock the exposure on this. As I go around and tighten these down, keep an eye on this edge right here. This will get sucked into the rubber on the wheel as we tighten this up. Okay, I gotta take a break. It's a lot of work. That's about as tight as I want it to be. That's a lot of work. All right. I don't know if you can tell the difference or not, but this wheel is being pulled into the tire now. And it's fitting relatively evenly. Relatively being the key word there. Yeah, all these bolts are tight. Okay, good enough for now. Do I look like I'm tired? Leaning over like that is bad or hard, or it triggers the dysreflexia anyways. So I'm gonna knock that off for a while. Oh, by the way, I know one of you was wondering about using a floor jack on this setup. Pretty simple, little US General low profile aluminum jack. Fits right under the thing. And there you go, 2 fingers, you can pick the thing up in the air. This floor jack is very handy. It fits under almost all of the power chairs I own. Although, why should you take my word for it? Let's test it. Here we have a C500. Yeah, seems to fit into there. Pick that up, no problem. Let's try this C300 over here. Okay, as you can see, it just barely doesn't fit into there. But all you'd have to do is sort of push to the side on the chair, and it would lift it up enough to let you slide it under there. And then, you know, you could still obviously pick it up. Oh, I guess I'm sitting on a C300 here, but this is a steampunk chair, that doesn't count. So there you go, floor jacks do fit under most power chairs. At least see, oh wait. Oh, it wasn't lowered down all the way. Oh, no it was, never mind. So anyways, these do fit under most of the power chairs. Have you ever seen a cat more relaxed than that? You may have noticed I moved their bed. It's actually sitting over the top of the heat vent now. And as you can see, they are loving that. What's up, Mo? Chillin'? I'm pretty sure somewhere here we have switches that can be potentially used. Aha! Ooh, are these momentary? I can never remember if parentheses means momentary or not. Oh, it's momentary. Okay, you know what that means? This is going to be the horn switch. I hope I didn't pay $7 for that. That seems expensive. Alright. As per usual, there's a few things I didn't do a very good job explaining yesterday. Is it too bright? Man. You know, ever since on that one video where I started putting and so on the screen, every time I say I always think about it now. It rings in my head. Okay, this is going to be the switch that There. This is going to be the switch we're using for the horn on the bounder. Walmart wanted an exorbitant amount of money for wiring. It was like $8 for a little roll of single strand or stranded single conductor copper wire, and I wanted red and black, or at least two different colors. You know, come to think of it, I could have just used one, I guess, but anyways, to wire up these Anderson power pole connectors. But then for $4, they had this flat 4 trailer light wiring extension kit. This is 48 inches.
48 inches equal 4 feet.
4 feet long.
The mic's off.
Plus, we get some of these horrendous crimp-on power tap connectors, which we will not be using ever, because those are bad. That's how things catch fire. There goes another one. Yeah, those things are how things catch fire. So what we have here is 4 feet of 4 conductor wire. This is plenty big enough to power the horn on that chair. And what's 4 times 4? 24? Is that how that works? It's late, math stuff. So anyways, half the price, twice the wire. I'm just basically gonna strip this in half, and then for later on, we've got some flat 4 trailer wiring connector things. I'm having trouble making thoughts into words. I'm only gonna need like maybe this much of this wire for the horn. So that's probably good that I saved money on that, because I think I did actually buy this switch for $7, which is an insane ripoff. I guess it will switch 15 amps. Anyways, I was gonna come up with excuses as to why I couldn't get the horn working on that, and mostly because I couldn't find one of these switches, but I just had 2 of them in a drawer. I really wanted to get this video published today, but excuses. I actually had this camera plugged into the computer and I was about to transfer footage, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit here and stare at the computer screen for the next half hour waiting for all this footage to transfer off. So I decided to come out here and at least explain what the plan's going to be. Tomorrow is day 4 between videos. I was really hoping to have one up today for like the 3rd day. Oh great, and I'm one of those YouTubers that talks about uploading. Okay, well anyways, ignore all that. Tomorrow we're gonna get this horn going in the morning. The first thing I wanna hear when I wake up, other than the sounds of the Rickroll cat feeder and the sounds of my own screams when the cats shred me when they try to escape off the bed and get fed at 7 in the morning. Second thing we're gonna be hearing is the coffee maker. Third thing, the third thing we're gonna hear tomorrow is the horn on that chair. And it's 110 decibel ear-splitting awesomeness. I just made a sound, I didn't say That was the other thing. I picked up this flashlight off of the freeway bike path. It's an LED one, Milwaukee. This part's metal, it's got an LED light in there. I actually got another rechargeable light from Goodwill for 87 cents. It's actually really cool. We're gonna deal with that tomorrow too. This camera angle is getting boring, so flash forward till fast forward. I can't even. I'll see you in a few minutes, which will be tomorrow. Once again, I ran out of black zip ties, so I don't know. I just like keeping all the zip ties dark colored. But anyways, so I've interfaced with the 24 volt always on and the horn output. I've connected the ground back to the horn, and this here is going to be our switch input or output, or however you want to look at that. Essentially, all we need to do is connect the red and black together on this, and it should honk the horn. I'm gonna mount this probably up in here somewhere. What I'm doing right now is I have this switch wired up with a pigtail. I'm gonna put a connector on to interface with this, then I'll figure out where on here I wanna mount the switch. So we've got a couple feet of wire, which should be good. I'm gonna get one of those connectors on here, and then we're gonna test this thing out and see if I can scare myself to death with the sound of the horn. Okay, are you ready for this? I'm about to connect up this horn and test it out. I just needed to verify which way to put these connectors, just because I'm a little bit OCD about that. All right, here we go. We're gonna plug this in. Okay, now when I flip this switch in either direction, one of two things will happen. The wiring will catch fire, we'll blow a fuse, something will melt, or we'll get a horn honk. Here we go. Okay, that's loud. Now I understand why they disconnected this. That is insane. I'm gonna have to be careful where I mount this switch, because if I do hit that by accident, yeah. I might have to do an auxiliary secondary safety switch, or maybe put a flip up cover or something on it. I'm not sure. That's so loud. Just that right there is worth the $51,000 that these things cost. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get some of the wiring buttoned up on this, and we're gonna call that a day. I think that's successful.